Hi, I'm Peter Birch. We've come all the way to Hartley's Crocodile Adventures to take a closer look at crocodile farming and how it benefits wild populations of saltwater crocodiles. You're watching CrittaCam. The Australian saltwater crocodile is one of the most aggressive and dangerous crocodiles, and is also the largest living reptile. Saltwater crocodiles are known to have the best skin for leather products all over the world, which led them into decline in the early 60s. Not until the 70s did they become protected. These beautiful, large, majestic creatures inhabit the waterways of northern Queensland, Northern Territory, and northern Western Australia. If it wasn't for farming, then these animals would surely be lost forever. Look at the size of this big fella. Who would think he could move so quick across the land? Female saltwater crocodiles can grow to about 3 metres in length, while the males can grow up to 6 metres, with some specimens growing as large as 10 metres. We were fortunate enough to have Nick show us around on the croc farm. This week's question of the week: how many teeth does a saltwater crocodile have? Is it 48 to 55? 64 to 68 or 75 to 82? Please leave a comment below.
Yeah, firstly, when we collect the egg must remain upright all the time, otherwise we'll drown the embryo. The embryo attaches itself to the top.
Okay.
So we mark that, so if it does roll, you've got a little bit of leeway in the first 24 hours, but you still don't want to do it. So we mark the egg, bring it back into the incubator, well, we wash them first, clean them right up so there's no dirt and bacteria on them. Bring them into the incubator here. The incubator, this will hold around 2,000 eggs. Normally 80 days incubation in here at 32 degrees. You know, the warmer it is, the quicker the incubation, the cooler it is, the longer the incubation. Yep. But as I said, at 32 we've got great hatchos. Then we take them out into our hatchling pen, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Yep. And when we go in there, you'll see all the numbers inside the pen, and that's extremely important. If we have two lesser numbers in there, we'll get a dominant animal. And he'll just have a go at everyone. Right. So if we have too many in there, we'll actually lose control of the pen, so we can't have a look at everyone and make sure everyone's getting a feed and going well. So the numbers, when you see them, are extremely important.
Awesome. Well, let's go and have a look at some of the little fellas.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome.
Okay, Peter, we're going into the hatchling pen now. We house about 1,100 hatchos in here. This is the start of life until about 10 months of age, when they reach 800 mils. Yep. Basically what it boils down to, they can eat a chicken head and we can move them out into another pen without feeding nets.
Okay, so we're going in here, are we?
Yep, we're going in.
Bit of a steam box, I believe.
Yep.
So the food itself?
Okay, kangaroo meat and chicken heads.
Yep.
Mixed, it's a 70% kangaroo, 30% chicken heads, roux meat for the high protein growth rates, chicken heads for the calciums and vitamins, and we also throw a vitamin mix as well.
Awesome.
So nothing but the best for these guys.
Well, they are producing the end product, aren't they, really?
That's it.
This is the part I like. You walk down here and there's full chicken heads on the ground, which means there's bigger ones hiding down here, which means they could take a whole toe, correct?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Especially like blue collar.
Okay, Nick, where are we now?
Okay, these are what we call the round tanks, obviously, by the shape. This is where the hatchos come after they're 8 to 10 months. They're nearly a metre in size. They're eating chicken heads. We keep about 60, 70 in here at a time. And they'll last through here through the dry season, which is our cooler months. Yep. And then transfer it out after that into the grow out pens.
And then they go out to the bigger pens
so
again.
They get two moves in their life. The next move is to the grow out, which is what it means, grow out. And that is it. Cool.
All right, so obviously we're at the final destination for these guys.
Yep. These crocs here will be in here for approximately a year. We get them up to a size, and being a primary industry, it all depended on the markets. Okay. It's what the markets want. We don't have any say in the size whatsoever. They tell us they want big skins, smaller skins, whatever. That's what we do.
Okay then.
Yeah.
And obviously, when we're farming animals, we're talking about using the most amount of the animal. So we're talking about using the skins as well as the meat.
Yep. The back straps, the skulls, the feet. Nearly 90% of the animal is being used.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And in doing that, we're actually protecting the species.
Oh, most definitely. And we know that it's a valuable resource that we're working with. and you guys are controlling the numbers that you can work with too.
Yeah, but at any given time, if the populations for some reason were to drop, we, in conjunction with Parks and Wildlife, the government, would actually release crocs back into the wild, if need be.
You did say earlier that you had some animals that were caught from the wild and have been actually microchipped so that you can keep an idea of the actual genetics.
Yeah,
for that reason.
Yeah,
alone,
that's the latest thing that we've been doing because of the the call for removal of the animals.
Yep.
In my opinion, it's uncalled for. We don't have the populations like the Northern Territory or anything like that.
Yep.
And when you go down to a riverbank, you actually, if you can see a croc there, you're not going in. When you
definitely.
can't see it, you're tempted, especially if you have a couple of frothies.
Yeah.
You're going to go in for a swim. That's where all your problem happens. So we monitor all the where the crocs come from, who they breed with, a whole range of different things.
But I guess it goes back to common sense. If you see a sign near the water and it says there's crocodiles in there, obviously be smart, don't swim there.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not that hard.
Yeah.
Living with crocodiles, I've been doing it most of my life, and with dogs.
Yep.
I love my dogs, and never lost one, and I've got everything.
I was about to say, not only living but working, and you still
Yeah.
got all your fingers. I mean,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's it. Just respect the animal.
Definitely.
Simple as that.
Okay, I guess, Nick, we're right at the very end of the line for these animals, and we're getting down to the actual products, where they're going. And like we said before, with farming them, it's really in your best welfare and interest to produce the best quality animals, to produce the best quality skins. So can you just talk to us a little bit about the skins and some of the products?
Yeah, for sure. What we're looking at is the skin of porosis, crocodile porosis,
Yep.
saltwater crocodile.
Yep.
And I use a scientific name there because we're competing with other crocodiles around the world,
Yes.
Nile crocs, alligators as such. Why the salty is the best skin in the world is the small scale pattern, very small, and we're talking the fashion industry.
Yep.
Lack of osteoderms or bony plates. If this was a Nile croc or an alligator, he'd have osteoderms, bony plates running down through here. In the fashion industry, it's not like, and it's actually harder to tan.
Yeah, and I guess the fact that there's bony parts, the osteoderms, makes it less wearable, less usable, I guess, for a lot of products.
When you're buying a $40,000-$50,000 handbag, they want these basically gone.
Yep.
They want everything symmetrical. They want no scars, and that's where the farming comes into it. So we're not. If it was a wild croc, you'd have a scarred belly, and they don't want that.
Definitely.
So we're producing something that is pleasing everyone, especially the wild crocs.
Yep. And through farming, we are looking after the wild populations. I mean, as we spoke earlier, wild populations, the amount of animals that will make it from the egg to adult size is very low compared to what you guys are
90%
doing.
mortality rate in the wild. So we do need to look after that. There's lots of myths about the population growth. Every year the wet season comes in, crocodiles are everywhere.
Yep.
And they are because they're moving around looking for mates, looking for nesting sites. But the populations really are growing 1, 2, maybe 3%. And that's not a lot.
It's not a lot considering the amount of animals that are, the amount of eggs they can actually produce in a season.
Yeah, no, that's right. All right, what we've got here, Peter, is the CITES tag.
Yep.
Okay, without this tag on the skin, this skin is illegal.
Okay.
Must be sold with this tag. And what it does is control all the trading of crocodile skins around the world. So if this doesn't have it, or the numbers don't add up, because we're doing surveys of all the wild populations all the time for CITES,
Yep.
if it doesn't add up, they can stop the trade out of this country.
Okay then. So basically what we're saying is this tag and this paperwork
Yep.
is telling us that these are farm-bred animals. They're
Exactly.
not wild-caught, poached animals, basically.
Yep.
They're farm-bred animals
Exactly
for a
right.
specific reason.
And it's a great way of doing it because it does protect anyone wanting to go out, like a rogue farmer, for instance, wants to go out and get more skins.
Yep.
It stops him from doing that because he's allotted a certain amount of skins
Okay.
tags.
This week's question of the week. How many teeth does a saltwater crocodile have? If you guessed B, 64 to 68, you're obviously getting a little bit too close to the croc. I can tell you've shown us around today, and I think I've learned a lot more and a lot more respect for these animals, these beautiful creatures.
Oh, that's fantastic, Peter. Great to have you guys here.
Thank you very much, and I mean, hopefully everyone will understand the part that farming plays with conservation for these beautiful creatures.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic because it is, we are protecting the crocodile, and that's our major aim. Without us, there's always a market out there. Without us, you promote poaching, black markets, all that type of stuff.
Definitely farming is the way to go.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's show, learning a lot more about crocodile farming and how important it is to the wild population of crocodiles. Without it, we would lose these beautiful creatures forever. Conservation is the key. Please leave a comment below, hit me up on Facebook and Twitter. You've been watching CrittaCam.